Good evening everyone and welcome along to Esports Masters League. We are here of course for Premier Division. It is Season 2, round number 6 of the Championship as we take in the United States Grand Prix from the Circuit of the Americas. My name is James Hay, going to be taking you to the stream as always of course on a Wednesday night, and joining me in the commentary box of course it is Mr. Ivan Mike, who is making a drink right at this current moment in time, so he will be joining me very soon indeed. First things first, before we start the stream proper, there is a Discord issue going on, so if you cannot connect up on Discord, in the EML Discord server, do not worry about it. It is a global issue. It's something to do with database clusters by the looks, so if you are struggling to connect with EML and Garassi, who's our lobby host, please add him and he will send you an invite into the lobby, just to reiterate that. So if you're just joining in, Discord issue. And if you're not getting an invite, don't worry about it, because we are probably going to be running a little bit late. Discord issue, of course, causing the majority of that. But hopefully we're going to be getting going, as I say, very soon indeed. Drivers are now beginning to join up now that I've said that, so that's fantastic. And to run you through, of course, what happened last month, in fact, in terms of the Austrian Grand Prix, was Hadley who took the win, Tom Robbo in second, and Ron Zeus there in third. A real mix-up, I've got to say, in the grid there, with the top three, of course, TTG taking it in maybe controversial circumstances, could we say, with Hadley, of course, keeping the win from Tom Robbo in second, Ron in third. And, of course, it was discussed after the race that Hadley should keep the win, and it all will build on, of course, to tonight here at the United States Grand Prix. Running you through the standings as well. We do not have any graphics, by the way, for you tonight. That's why we're just running the normal stream. So it's just literally me and a Welshman in the commentary box. TTG leading the way on 158 points. IFR now second on 151 points. So a 7-point advantage for TTG coming into tonight. TRT were in third on 105 points. They seem to be the real underdogs, I've got to say, of the championship so far. SXT there in fourth on 102 points. FFC, F1 Friends Cup, in fifth on 99 points. FRL Esports in 6th on 85, very good result of course with Ron last time out. VR in 7th on 62 points, Customs GT in 8th on 47, Nplay GTZ Bulls are in 9th on 30, and now known as the Royals Esports team, because FMSL have now merged with Royals Esports, which I think could be a good move for them. They're in 10th and they're going to be starting on 0 points. They've had all their points wiped away, so Royals Esports going to be taking the place for FMSL because they've merged and they are down at the back of the field now. And hopefully we're going to be getting my co-commentator back very soon indeed, so we can give you his thoughts certainly on some of the races, some of the racing of course here tonight. I can tell he's probably back because he's just joined the lobby. Are you back, Mike?
Yes, I am.
Good evening. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, very well. Looking forward to this one after what I saw in League 2, some good racing.
It should be fantastic. I was watching League 1 as well. The ending to that was absolutely brilliant, I've got to say. No safety car, I think, in either races, if I'm not mistaken. Did you have a safety car in your race?
Absolutely none, to my dismay.
Fantastic. That's what we like to see, though. That's what we like to see. I was just running through that we have got a Discord issue, so obviously drivers are beginning to join now. There is a Discord issue. It is a global issue, so we can't do anything about it. So we are a bit limited in terms of what we've got. I've certainly got everything here, like the standings. Also, the task system is also working. The YouTube bot, I should say, is not working, but the task system is up and running for myself and Mike to use, of course, so we can compare everyone's sector times. Mike, I was just running through, actually, the standings there. TTG leading the way on 158 points, IFR in second on 151, and, of course, TTG took the win in, could we call it controversial circumstances last month?
Yeah, I think that's putting it mildly after... Obviously, what we saw, I mean, we didn't like to see it go down like that. We think it wouldn't have mattered anyway. The victory would have gone to TTG regardless, but it did just throw up a bit of controversy, didn't it? Where it wasn't needed.
It did, but I think everyone has moved on from that. Of course, Tom Robbo, who finished second, has certainly moved on from that, and they're willing to do, I think, everything out on track and play it as fair as you can play it, of course, here at the United States Grand Prix, which is good to see, and I really respect both teams for doing that as well. It's fantastic to see some good levels of sportsmanship really here in EML Premier. Looking through as well the driver that we have got tonight as well. Royals Esports, of course, representing FMSL now because of the merge that has recently happened between the two teams. So I will run you through the driver lineup now. I'll just have to see so I can actually get my glasses on so I can see. Andres Lopez and Hawaii Marve are representing Worlds Esports, along with Angel, who's their reserve. Legend and Bolin representing IFR, along with Rudy being their reserve. TTG with Christmas and Garassi, Recon being their reserve. GTZ represented by Petroa and Nelson. SXT represented by Javier and TB Hyper, with Yogurt being their reserve driver. Conrad, I should say, and Caesar representing VR. Caesar we're very familiar with, of course, from LOE. Silu Ron representing FRL, along with Ginger being their reserve driver. TRT represented by Highline and Freaky Fast. I think the same lineup as last time out, if I'm not mistaken. Vengeance is their reserve driver. Pingu Charles representing CGT, along with Belandia being their reserve driver. And Castro, Saxopia and Ruben Teve are the drivers for FFC, of course, Ruben Teve being the reserve for that team. And immediately, Mike, my eye is literally cast to two teams. TTG and IFR probably got the best lineup once again.
Yeah, it's hard to look past both those teams with the lineups provided for tonight's race, but I mean, I'm interested in seeing how SXT get on again, because I mean, I think I said it a few times this season. They've just gone under the radar a little bit, like some solid performances.
They have gone under the radar, and I said as well, TRT I think has gone under the radar when I was just introducing the stream there. Both teams have been very consistent in terms of their performances. They're making, the other teams that are around them that make mistakes, they're picking up basically the pieces of all of that, and picking up extra points as a result, which is fantastic, of course. Hopefully, as I say, we're going to be getting going very soon indeed. We have literally no communication to Garassi or to anyone within the lobby, so we cannot instruct everyone to start. I think we're missing two drivers, certainly. I'm not sure if we're missing the VER drivers. I'm just looking through, and I think we are missing both VER drivers. That's Conrad and Caesar that we are missing. Not sure if they're going to be joining. Hopefully we're going to be starting soon. Probably the best signal of everyone starting will be if Garassi readies up, everyone will probably follow. But that's the joys of having Discord down, our main social media platform down, to try and communicate, of course, the drivers to ready up. That's been done, so I think it'll have to go through maybe me or Mike, to be honest, tonight.
Yeah, obviously, I'm not too sure what's going on with Discord. I just tried to open it up just then. What is the issue with it?
Something with database clusters, apparently. The latest status update I was just reading before we came live. The Discord update... They've updated it, and they're raising the login rate limit to allow users to reconnect. So, if you're not logging into Discord, you might have a chance of getting in there before 9 o'clock, hopefully. My Discord certainly isn't working. But it looks like drivers are beginning to ready up. Charles and Castro certainly have readied up. The go-ahead might be given. Of course, we're already 5 minutes late, so I think we would be starting at this point. I still can't get onto the Discord, unfortunately, which is unfortunate. We have to obviously go through what we've got in front of us. But it actually creates a whole different atmosphere because, of course, we've got the task system up and running, which is absolutely brilliant. We can follow the driver's progress throughout tonight. What we haven't done is take you through, of course, the track map in question. There's the Circuit of the Americas, 5.4 kilometers, 3.4 mile here in Austin, Texas, as we take in the 20 turns that make up this track with the two DRS zones, one down the start finish straight, one down in towards turn 12 as well. And Mike, you have had first-hand experience of the USA track tonight. How is it to drive, and are we going to be seeing some very good action in terms of overtaking?
Well, Circuit of the Americas has always been a very great track for overtaking. See some opportunistic possibilities down at turn 11 and obviously turn 12 at the end of the DRS straight. Turn 15, we've seen some fantastic lunges down the inside there in the past, in just league racing in general at this circuit. And of course, turn 1, obviously some great overtaking opportunities, but very easy to lose time around here and to gain heaps of time around here as well. So we'll have to keep an eye on who can manage the track the best.
Yeah, definitely so. I think, honestly, this track I absolutely love to commentate on because it is one of those tracks where it really separates the men from the boys. And if you're not on form on this track, you're going to be really struggling. Like we saw, honestly, with the Relentless Boys in League One tonight. The Relentless Boys normally quite up there in terms of the pace. They were up there in terms of the pace, but I was expecting them to actually dominate tonight. They didn't. It was QVR that actually dominated the final race. Verstappen, of course, finishing in fourth, and Campbell, I think, won that race, so if I'm not mistaken, that obviously happened. Looking at the task system, we've got plenty of players by the looks on the task system, which isn't great. We have got 18 drivers. The VER boys have not joined in time, haven't given us any notice. Of course, they've fielded a lineup, so there's obviously going to be some points deducted as a result of that. But one thing to note, of course, Mike, beautiful blue skies and sunshine. What is the strategy for everyone coming out in terms of the qualifying session so far? I would imagine first laps, majority of the drivers will go on a set of mediums.
Yeah, it's good to just get an eye in to get a nice little banker on the board, but I mean, we could see a fair few come out on a set of softs to really get their eyes in immediately on the faster compound, as SXT Yavier has done out there on the soft compound.
Yeah, Yavier is the first man out on track, of course, for SXT. I swear they normally run a green livery, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm not sure if there's been a change up in their car in terms of the colour scheme, certainly. As Yavier actually has a moment coming out of turn 6. Not sure what happened there. And that was very, very strange. Christmas, I think, was trying to get through in that as well. But Yavier just sort of like caught the curb and snapped it a little bit. It was almost as if his wheel fell off his rig, basically. That's how we could describe it. And Yavier, unfortunately, is not going to be the first man out on track then, because he gets out of the way of Christmas, who will be the first man out on track. But already, Yavier struggling in terms of either a mistake in terms of the curb on the outlap, or maybe just a little bit of a steering wheel issue.
Yeah, I mean, it's so easy to do, just to have a bit of a snap on any of these curbs in the first sector especially. So easy, you just hit one of them wrong and you are going to be catching your rear end through the following corners.
Yeah, definitely. So Christmas, though, was the first man out on track. Not to be confused, of course, with QVR Christmas. There are two Christmases. This is the German Christmas, of course. The QVR Christmas, the Dutchman Christmas, as we call them, is in QVR. But the German is coming around the final a couple of quarters to start off on his lap, coming through turn 19, and then through the left-hander of turn 20. And the TTG man will be hoping for a very good lap. As soon as I say that, he comes back into the pit lane.
Very interesting.
Really interesting. Yavier, though... it's actually Christmas retires from the session, and Yavier moves off to the right-hand side and validates his first lap as Hyper has left the session. Hopefully he'll be able to get back in, the SXT man. Yavier coming through turn number 1. He hasn't validated his lap, so we'll have to go on board with the next driver that's coming through. That is Castro for F1 Friends Cup. Already a bit of support being shown for the F1 Friends Cup team in the comment section. Of course, let us know who you're supporting in that comment section. As now Castro comes out of turn 6, and he's a 25.5 through the first sector. Not too bad, but not too quick. He should be expecting to round about mid-24s, I've got to say, through the first sector. Castro, though, coming to the left-hander of 10, and now towards turn 11, and hopefully it is going to be fantastic. Oh, yeah, TTG, I've just been informed by Benny, we got the qualifying ban from the last event, so just the installation lap allowed for TTG. Interesting. I didn't know that. That's something that I normally check on Discord, and I didn't actually check because it went down. Castro, though, however, down towards turn number 12, and we'll see what his middle sector is like. It's a 103.4 in theory in terms of his purple middle sector, 37.8, but it is going to be considerably quicker for guys further down the field. Certainly a lot of guys, why Marvin the likes on a set of medium compounded tyres, as number 14, Bolin, has came in through the middle sector with purple middle sector. Out of that, everyone on that lap so far. But Castro now coming through the left-hander of 19, and then in towards the final corner of turn 20, with nearly 5 minutes gone in the session. We haven't got anybody on the board so far, but Castro is the first man to come across the line. It's a 131.4 to start off the night. Bolin, however, is going a lot quicker. He's got Saxopia just in front, the FSC's other driver. Bolin now to the line, and he goes quickest, 31.1, and that is much more likely in terms of the lap times we should be seeing.
Yeah, that's a very good lap there from Bolin. And for a banker lap as well, that is incredibly impressive.
Really good lap. We should expect, to be honest, I know in qualifying in League 1, which I was watching, we were getting towards the mid-130s in terms of the pole position lap time there. So Bolland, 31.1, and given that his teammate Rudy, who was obviously a TTML F1 driver, and he's obviously wrapped up second in that championship, he's in third and he's 6/10 off Bolland, which is unbelievable to think. IFR, of course, towards the top end of the standings. TTG, of course, will be towards the bottom end. Grassi, of course, will retire in the pit lane, you would imagine. Freaky Fast is coming through the final couple of corners. He, of course, representing TTG. And now he is coming through the middle sector. 36.9, so around about the sort of middle sector we should be seeing in terms of these lap times. As now Freaky Fast comes out of turn 19 and then through the left-hander of turn 20. This is looking like it's going to be quite quick from Freaky Fast as he runs toward the line. And he goes third, so he goes ahead of Rudy. Good lap from him. Pedro there in second as well for GTZ Bulls. But Bolland out on top. And I'm going to say, Mike, look at the lap time so far. That is going to take a whole load of beating.
Yeah, absolutely. But one thing we need to keep in mind, though, is that most of the time set so far have been on a set of the yellow wall tyres, and we're yet to see what they can do on the red walls.
Another one on a set of red wall tyres, though, is the TRT reserve driver, now filling, of course, for the other TRT man. That is Vengeance, coming through. He's filling in for Highliner, I think, here tonight, as he now comes through the middle sector. 101.9, so around the middle sector we should be seeing 37 flat in the middle sector from him, and he'll be looking to try and go towards the top end of the field. Nelson, I think, is just ahead of him or behind him, possibly out on track as well. Looks like he might have been invalidated as a middle sector. 37.5 that was, but Vengeance now coming through in towards the final couple of corners. Can the TRT man put it towards the top end of the field, as Nelson actually was on a valid lap. He went 8, 33.4 from him. It's now Vengeance ran the final corner on the run to the line, and he goes 5th, so he's 2/10 off Rudy at that stage. But given that was his second lap on that set of tyres, if you put on a quick set, a new set of soft compound tyres, you're inevitably going to be a lot quicker.
Yeah, absolutely. As I believe the first set of lap times over and done with now, so for CGT and SXT, they need to get a lap time on the board ASAP.
Yeah, they do, to be honest. I mean, there's no rush. I mean, there's 10 minutes to go in the session, so there's absolutely no rush in terms of the action so far. But Bolland out on top, Pedro second, Freaky Fast in third. Of course, the majority of the drivers will go onto that set of soft compound tyre. Saxo Pia, in fact, is going on another set of mediums, and he's 2/10 up on this lap. He's coming through now towards turn 15, the left-hander here at turn 15, and then, of course, going through Verstappen corner at 16, 17, 18. Of course, very famously overtook off the track. Wonder how many times he's done that in his career. Saxo Pia, though, coming through the left-hander of turn 19. Throwing a bit of shade at our drivers. World champion, goodness me. Saxo Pia coming through the final corner at turn 20. And now on the run towards the line. It's a very short run towards the line here. And to 33.6. Improves another 2/10 per second and goes into 10th position. That was on his third lap on that set of mediums. So clearly wants to do a bit of running on that set of mediums before he transitions to that set of soft compound tyre.
Yeah, he's getting some laps in on those mediums, that's for sure. And interestingly, is leaving him with a bit of a situation where he might have to do 2 laps back to back on his final set of softs. So just well, actually, never mind. I had a yellow flag over the time. I thought it was a lot less in the session. Ignore me.
There's still 9 minutes to go in the session. I mean, we're halfway through the session, basically. Bolland out on top, Pedro second, Freaky Fast in third. Somebody that might challenge, though, Bolland for pole position has just started on his lap now, and that is Javier. Javier has been very quick in the past for SXT in this event, and now we come through the left-hander of turn 1, and on the run down in towards turn number 2, and then through what I like to call the Maggot and Beckett section out on track, through the left-hander of 3, through 4, through 5, and then through the right-hander of turn 6. They come at you like knockout punches from Mike Tyson. 24.9 through the first sector from Javier. He hits turn 7 nicely, and then through the little chicane of turn 8, and then turn 9. And this has looked like a quick lap so far. In terms of the purple first sector, he's 3/10 off Bolland through the first sector alone. So Javier's not going to be going that quick, I wouldn't think, on this lap. But if he puts a good middle sector and final sector, and he might land himself into second position. We'll see, though, as he runs now down what I like to call the Buddha Straight, which, of course, represents the Buddha International Circuit in India. back in the day in 2011, 2012 and 2013. Javier though down in towards turn 12 and then in towards the right hander of turn 13. It's not looked too bad on the snap. It's purple in the middle sector. That's indicative, of course, that he hasn't had a time just yet. But in terms of his middle sector, he's around another 3 or 4 tenths off in terms of Bolland's lap times. He's going to be going around Ciru, Andres Lopez sort of area, I would think, probably into 6th position here, as now Javier comes out of Verstappen corner through 18 and then through the left hander of turn 19, hitting the apex too much on the right hand side. Luckily though, he is going to prepare up for another lap, but he invalidates out of turn 19, and that is going to catch quite a few people out, especially in terms of penalties in the race.
Yeah, it's very rare that we get to see a race where no one picks up a 3-second time penalty. Very common around here. The track limits can be very unforgiving around the circuit.
Definitely can. Bolland around the final corner. Is he going to go even quicker? You bet he can. 30.9. He found 2.5 tenths of a second in that final sector alone. He was down in both the first and the middle sector. Pedro's coming around the final corner, and to be fair to Pedro, he's not going to get even close to this, even if he does improve. 31.5, 2/10 improvement from Pedro. Freaky Fast there is also up in the first sector, 300s up, but Bolland out on top. Pedro second, Freaky Fast in third. IFR are here because TTG, obviously at a disadvantage. Garassi and Christmas, of course, both retiring as a result of a qualifying ban from the last event. Bolland, though, putting IFR on the record and saying, you know what, we're going to retake that championship lead from you.
Yeah, and this is such a big opportunity for IFR to really make TTG suffer for the shenanigans in the last round, and I'm just trying to go on board with someone who... towards the end of the lap, I believe you just spotted something.
Yeah, it was Freaky Fast towards the end of the lap, and he's just invalidated coming on the exit of turn 19 on the right-hand curb again, and he actually took the left-hand side curb too much, and that's where he invalidated back into the pit lane. He's there in third. There's a spinner.
Yep, Avi spins across the line there, 32.1. Lost the traction coming out of the final corner, snap left, snap right, and around he went.
There's another spinner and all of that as well. Andres Lopez through the end of the first sector had spun, coming through the S section of turn 4 and turn 5. So that little left-right kink that we spoke about, that caught Andres Lopez out, of course. Royal's doing quite well so far, of course. Andres there in 5th, Guayamava there in 10th. Of course, they're representing now under the moniker of FMSL because they merged, of course, during the week. Bolland though out on top, Pedro second, Freaky Fast in third. Interesting that Rudy hasn't came out for another lap just yet. 31.7 in 4th position. He's 8 tenths off his teammate. Does Rudy sit there in 4th, or does he set his stall out to try and get 2nd?
Well, I was actually on board with Rudy not too long ago. He did come out for a lap, but unfortunately he did invalidate, so he came back into the pit. So guessing now he's trying to get his mind psyched up to go for one more final run. One big push.
Yeah, one big push I definitely think could be the key for Rudy here. Vengeance around the final corner to the line. He goes third. Good lap time by Vengeance. Improves 3,000... sorry, not 3,000, 3/10 of a second there from Vengeance, and he goes ahead of his teammate Freaky Fast. Hopefully no lobby issues being caused here, by the way. Hyper is still managing, or trying to manage, to rejoin the session. He keeps leaving and disconnecting, so hopefully we might not have a lobby glitch. Let's hope we don't, because it might be like Austria last week in the EML Premier Challenge Cup event, of course. You know how that one went. Bolland out on top, Pedro second, Vengeance in third. Javier is back into the pit lane. He's got damage, I think, on the left side end plate, if I'm not mistaken, coming into the pit lane. Castro not on a lap either. Saxopia is not on a lap, I don't believe. Although he's on a set of soft compounded tyre, and I think actually he could be trying to improve in this middle sector. So we're on board with Saxopia, coming out through the middle sector now, and he's 2 tenths down. Saxopia now down on his lap time, 33.6, and of course he set his stall quite high to try and improve. Will he improve through the final sector?
Well, strangely enough, like from what I'm looking at right now, he's not using his ERS.
Yeah. I actually think he let through his teammate and then realised, oh yeah, my teammate has invalidated his lap. So that's why I think he's pushing, and actually Saxopia went way off coming through the final corner. He actually does improve. does improve without using any DRS and any ERS. In fact, Saxopia there 11th, 33.3. Bolin though still out on top. Pedro second, Vengeance in third. However, Freaky Fast has just started up on his lap, 31.7. He'll be looking to try and break into that 8/10, that 6/10 gap pretty much that Bolin has to Pedro. As Freaky Fast now comes through the right-hander of turn 6 and then through the left-hander of turn 7, looking not too bad through the first sector. 10th up through the first sector, 24.7. He's around 800 off in terms of the first sector lap time from Bolin so far. So Freaky Fast is up there in the first sector as we now come through in towards turn number 11 with the TRT man, of course, representing along with Vengeance here tonight for TRT, and they seem to be the underdogs so far in this event with 2.5 minutes to go, just over that. Bolin out on top, Pedro second, Vengeance in third. Freaky Fast though coming now down in towards the left-hander of turn 12 as the TRT cars run. Keep calm and no heroics into Sandavot. Hopefully no heroics in towards turn 13 with a lock-up, but he's 2/10 up and he's actually purple in the middle sector. It's actually not purple in terms of Bolin's lap time, but he's 4/10 down in the middle sector of Bolin's lap time, so he's going to be trying to go ahead of Pedro here if he can get a very good final sector in. Now out of 17, then to the right-hander of 18, and I like his line through there, taking as limited apex as possible to try and save the ground, and now coming to the left-hander of 19, and then in towards turn 20, Bolin out on top, Pedro second, but where's Freaky Fast going to go? He goes third in the end, and he's only 6,000ths of a second off Pedro. Bolin though out on top, Pedro second, Freaky Fast in third. The majority drivers now though, Mike, on their outlap.
Yeah, and now we'll get to see as Freaky Fast has gone a little bit too early. Obviously the track going to get faster and faster. Pedro just starting his lap, so stay on board with Pedro as he comes into the S's of 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 at the first sector split. Let's see, he's marginally up right now, but this is where you can lose all your time or gain all your time for the uphill. Right, left, and he's negotiated it well, but I don't think that was the fastest line through there as we go into the hairpin of turn 11. Good all the traction on the exit. DRS wide open now on the run down towards turn 12. A little bit of traffic up ahead, but going to get well out of the way.
Yeah, that was Freaky Fast getting out of the way. Pedro though coming down in towards turn number 12. Let's see what he can do though in this middle sector. It's looked quicker actually than Freaky Fast middle sector, and that proves it because he's 10.5 up, and now the Brazilian will be hoping to try and get towards the front end of the field. Rudy of course is on his lap. I think he's just coming through turn 11 there on the mini-map on the right hand side, but Bolin leading the way with half a minute to go here. Bolin is on pole position currently, but can Pedro have any say? Coming through turn 19 and then to the left-hander of turn number 20, upcoming Vengeance just getting out of the way to the left-hand side, and now Pedro at the final corner on the run to the line. It's going to be closer to 31.3 in the end. He doesn't really improve up a position, but 4/10 improvement in the end in terms of his lap time. He's still, though, 4/10 off Bolin's lap time so far. Rudy is coming through in towards the middle sector, and I tell you what, Rudy's on a flyover lap here, coming through the middle sector, 101.4. He's 1/10.5 up, so he's going to be going around Pedro, Andres Lopez sort of area, and Freaky Fast has gone fourth there as well. He obviously came off his lap there, but Bolin leading the way. Pedro in second, Andres Lopez in third. I think Bolin is coming through the final corner, and he's still improving. Javier goes fifth as well for SXT, but Bolin out the final corner on the run to the line, and that's just taking the make. A 30.7. 2/10 improvement in that final sector alone. My God, he is an absolute god. Out on track. Rudy, though, round the final corner to the line, and he puts it an IFR 1-2. But can Andres Lopez have anything to say? No. He just came off his lap. Pedro is not on the lap either. Don't think Vengeance is. Silo is up by 3/10 of a second, though, in the middle sector. So the FRL boys, I think, here, looking good in terms of the improvement on the lap times. Let's see what Silo can do. Now coming to the right-hander of 18, and then to the left-hander of turn 19, and he's really on the limit, catches the sausage cut beautifully through there, and now through the left-hander of turn 20. Is he going to try and make and is he going to try not making an IFR 1-2? No, he goes fourth. What is Ron doing in behind as well? Ron around the final corner to the line, and he gets second by 1,000th of a second. How close can you get to try and spoil the party for a 1-2? Bolling out on top. He's 4.5 tenths ahead of the rest of the field. Ron in second though, splits both IFR drivers, but it just comes to show how IFR are absolutely up for this. Bolling out on top, Ron in second, Rudy in third at the end of qualifying.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic there from Ron to snatch away the IFR 1-2 at the depths by 1,000th of a second. You can't get any closer than that. You really can't.
You really can't. It could have been 1,000th the other way, and it could have been an IFR 1-2 on the front row of the grid, but I just feel Rudy will be quicker off the line. He's there in third position, Ron there in second, Ron of course backing up a third place finish of course in Austria last month, and he'll be hoping of course to try and carry that. No Tom Robble of course here tonight for IFR, Bolin and Rudy representing the IFR team tonight, so they have got the work cut out slightly I've got to say, but Ron in second position. FRL beginning to come alive in this event. They had a very good week, of course, last month in Austria, and now they're beginning to prove why they shouldn't be underrated in this event.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll let you go for the order first.
We will get the grid order very soon indeed as we come off on board with a driver there. Bolin though out on top. 4.5 10-second clear of the rest of the field. That's just insane for America. Ron in second, Rudy in third, and they're separated by 1,000th of a second. It just comes to show how dominant Bolin was in that qualifying session. Pedro there in fourth, with Silo in fifth, Andres Lopez in sixth, Royals of course represented now in sixth, Freaky Fast in seventh, Javier in eighth, Vengeance in ninth, Nelson ran off the top 10, Castro there in 11th, Marve in 12th, Saxopia in 13th. They're the only drivers that actually got lap time set in. Both CGG drivers, Charles and Belandia, I'm not sure if they had a qualifying ban as well. Hyper and Garassi, of course, Garassi and Crispus, of course, had a qualifying ban for TTG, and SXT, of course, Hyper didn't actually manage to get a lap time in because he basically he disconnected throughout the session, and that's why he didn't get a lap time in. So the SXT, man, it looks like we're still both drivers for SXT, which is good, but hopefully it hasn't caused any issues in terms of lobby. Remind you, of course, that we are running the task system here tonight. We haven't got the task spot working for you, I'm afraid, in the YouTube comment section, but hopefully we will be able to give you justice in terms of what we've been seeing so far out on track and qualifying. Let's have a reminder, though, of the Circuit of the Americas, 5.4 kilometres and then 3.4 mile, and, of course, Mike, those two DRS zones are going to be absolutely key for overtaking.
Yeah, and just going just before those DRS zones, and two very crucial traction zones as well in the final corner of turn 20 and turn 11. You get the traction run there, and the driver you're trying to overtake could pull a good 3-4 tenths on you just in the traction alone. Oh
yeah, definitely. Definitely, and obviously there's plenty of traction zones, I think, around this track. Coming out of turn 1, especially, if you get the outside line, basically on the exit of turn 1, and you get the inside for turn 2, you're going to have the grip there. Like we saw with Nathan Verstappen on the penultimate lap of the race in League 1. They went side by side, unbelievably so, through the middle sector, or through towards the middle sector, and that was an absolute insane battle, I've got to say, between Verstappen and Nathan. Hopefully it might give some inspiration to the guys, of course, out on track. We are going, though, for a formation lap around the Circuit of the Americas. 28 laps, of course, waiting these guys out on track. Top 10, of course, qualifying on that sort of soft compound tyre. Everyone else, I would have said, on a set of mediums, but we've got a rogue one there in the bottom half of the field. It is Castro on a set of hard compound tyres. So FFC, as we've seen it, I think, so far this season, splitting their strategies completely.
Yeah, that's a very strange call there from Castro. I mean, if you're qualified P11, normally you would expect maybe a fresh set of softs to kick things off so you can try and get the order a bit. But the hard compound tyres, the slowest tyre out of the bunch. That's a very bold call from Castro.
Very bold call for Castro. Pretty much a set of hard compound tyres around here. Remember Silverstone with the blue wall tyre back in the day on F1, I think it was 2017 or 2018? We had that blue wall tyre and it was absolutely shocking. The hard compound tyres around here are absolutely shocking. So Castro has gone obviously for a split strategy, but I wonder if he thinks there is a threat of rain towards the end of the race. I think we do have clear weather on, if I'm not mistaken, but Castro going for a little bit of Weird strategy, I've got to say. He's on that sort of hard compound tyres. Sacks up here, of course, on a sort of medium compound tyres, and he'll be hoping, of course, to try and get towards the end of the field. I think we saw Marve, by the way, go completely off track there, coming through turn number 12. But Bolin out on top, Ron in second, Rudy in third. Mike, I'm looking at the top three and thinking, can anybody pass Bolin down in towards turn 1?
I think it's all going to depend on what kind of launch Ron can get off the line. But if Bolin has the same kind of race pace as he does qualifying pace, it's going to be very difficult to beat him here tonight. But, I mean, interestingly, I was going to bring it up, but just before we was going to go for the qualifying results, but Garassi, even though he had the qualifying ban and wasn't able to set a lap, does start ahead of a few cars, which is a bit of a bonus there for TTG.
I think it's because he actually didn't set a lap time or didn't come across the line at any point, while Hyper, Charles and Belandio I think did, and that is why, of course, Charles and Belandio, I don't think they even came out the pit lane if I'm not mistaken, so they're further down the field. It's just the game's physics, I think we can blame it on too, in terms of the racing he had on track, but we are about to get going, of course. Mike, I'm going to come across to you quickly. Who's your top three?
I'm going to go Bolin, I'm going to be Bolin, Ron, and I'm going to go Pedro for third.
Oh, I thought you were going to go Rudy for third. Goodness me. We are about to get going. All the 5 red lights are about to go out here, it seems, at the Circuit of the Americas. I hope they are going to go out, but I have a feeling Hyper might have to leave the session here for us to get underway. He's there in 15th position. And we're stuck on the grid, which is absolutely typical. This is why you do not rejoin in qualifying. It is simple as that. You know the glitch by now. We're 6 or 7 months into the game cycle, and we've already got a qualifying glitch. I'm not sure if we're going to get a restart. As long as Hyper leads the session, we will be able to start this race first time around, and he can join, of course, when his car is at the back of the field, of course, if his disconnection woes do not continue. But Bolin out on top, Ron in second, Rudy in third, and everyone's stuck on the grid because of a driver joining through qualifying, which I think is illegal within the rules.
Not just through qualifying. I did see on the formation lap. He joined again on the formation lap, and unfortunately, with the Discord issue at the moment, I don't think we're gonna. I don't think we're gonna know what's gonna go on.
We're plagued in terms of what's happening. I'm not sure if we could maybe try and get a bit of connection to Garassi or something. Maybe get him into the party so we could actually have a bit of communication here. But it's a bit weird. Discord is down. I've checked it a couple of minutes ago and it's still down. But it looks like the graphics are certainly glitching on the left-hand side. I have a bad feeling here that it's just going to crash my game. So
yeah,
this is the case. Yeah, if this is the case, we're probably going to go blue screen. And we might, the stream might end, is what I will say, with the graphics obviously glitching to left hand side. As long as Hyper leaves, if anybody is watching from the SXT team, tell Hyper to leave, and obviously we'll be fine. That's the thing, and we don't want to be sitting here for as much as longer as possible. But Bolin out on top, Ron in second, Rudy in third, the grid is there, on the left hand side, that is the grid that everyone qualified in. And, of course, it will be a grid order if we do get a restarted lobby, which I think is probably the way we're going to be going, looking at, obviously, the communication. We've got the stream running. You're seeing as much as we are. I apologise, but, again, like in EML Premier Challenge Cup, and I really am getting the George Morgan catchphrase out here, it's just the cards that were dealt.
Terrible. Can you use one of my catchphrases?
Possibly so. F1, no. The servers are not the issue here in terms of F1. Obviously, it's the game's fault, I think, with drivers obviously joining the formation app and in qualifying as well. The same driver actually joined, I think, around 4 or 5 times. Garassi, that was migrating, so I have a feeling, oh no, the 5 relays are now going out all of a sudden. Goodness me, and we're underway. Bolin out on top, Ron in second, and it's the lights out and away we go. Garassi has left the session. I'm not sure if he'll be able to get back in, but we'll commentate regardless of what's happening. Bolin leading the way, Ron in second, and there's contact then in towards turn 1, and there's a car speeding off on the right hand side, and that is Rudy round. Rudy is spun, coming through turn number 1, it's Bolin that leads, Ron in second, Andres in third, there's all sorts of carnage further down the field. Nelson has spun, coming to the right hand of turn 2, but Bolin Bolin leads the way. Ron in second. Andres Lopez in third. Freaky Fast is through, and Pedro and has gone spearing off the track. And I'm not sure, actually. I think he's got the 10-second penalty for corner cutting. I think there's a lobby restart. So I think that is what the lobby restart will be for. And looking at it, drivers might decide to retire out of this race. So what we're commentating on probably be null and void. There is a VSC out on track. Christmas leaving the session. It looks like we're going to get a new lobby. So, in that case, I'm going to leave this before my game crashes, and then you will be able to see the rest of the action unfold, and obviously we'll have the grid order set up for you in due course. So, I'm imagining, if, of course, we have got very limited contact through Discord as well with our lobby host, but I'm imagining he's obviously left the session, and that is why we're going to be getting a lobby restart.
Yeah, so I believe obviously Grassi left at the same time as Hyper, so should definitely be a restart if Grassi's leaving the session. And see, with the way some of the people were driving there, I think everyone was kind of right, it is going to be a restart. So
I think there must have been some form of communication, because Freaky Fast coming across turn 7 or 8, you wouldn't do that if obviously it was a normal race. It wasn't a normal race, and that is why he obviously made that 10-second penalty, and then it clicked in my head. Yeah, probably going to be a lobby restart. We'll probably get the invites to the lobby very soon indeed. What might happen though, drivers, if you are listening, please restart your applications just in case. We don't have any issues. We have got an invite from Garassi, so we have got a new lobby set up. So there is a new lobby set up. I've certainly got an invite. I'm sure Mike will get one as well. If not, I'm going to fling him one over now. And then that is sorted. Garassi's already invited you. I'm just going to invite you anyways. Why not? I'm on a blue screen. I may as well. But there we are. We are getting our drivers back into the session. Our grid order will be as follows. And I wish I could send it to Garassi, but I can't. Grid order for the race, of course, is Bolinad on top, Ron in second, Rudy there in third, Pedro in fourth, CeeLo in fifth, Andres Lopez in sixth, Freaky Fast in seventh, Javier in eighth, Vengeance in ninth, Nelson ran off the top 10, Castro, Huaymave, Saxopia, Garassi and Hyper ran off the top 15. That's if Hyper will be able to join the session. He has joined for now, but it might create issues, of course, if he leaves within the session again. Charles and Belandi, of course, for CGT 16th and 17th, and Christmas, of course, retiring out the session with the result of the TTG qualifying ban, and they're right down at the back of the field. But, looking at that grid order, of course, from qualifying, Mike Bolin had an absolute unbelievable qualifying session. How can Ron and Rudy really try and bite back, of course, because one lap pace is one thing, the race is a completely different thing.
They just need to reset their minds now. Obviously, we've had this restart, so like it's gonna throw a couple of people off a little bit. 'Cause once you get into a rhythm around the track, and then you stop for a bit, sometimes it can definitely throw a spanner in the works. So these guys are gonna have to really like kind of dial themselves back in to get going again, and maybe catch Bolin lacking.
Yeah, I think Bolin, obviously, he's shown really good pace in terms of the racing so far. And that is why I think he is going to take a lot of beating in this race. And I think Rudy as well has got a very good chance, of course. I think we're just waiting on him to join as well as Bolin. But Bolin is already in the lobby. So we are waiting on 2 more drivers to join in this lobby. We will, of course, have the grid order set up by Garassi. For reference, if he is listening to the stream, it is around about, I would say, 4 minutes back from now. The grid order is there for you to have a look through if you do want to, and it'll obviously speed up the process as well, and hopefully speed you guys watching up as well. But for now, probably going to be going to midnight, I think, by this stage.
Yeah, it's a shame that League 1 and League 2 without a hitch. Premier, I guess, issues.
It's always when I'm commentating we get issues. It's always when we get me in the commentary box. I'm literally like a walking plague, I think, in terms of the lobbies for F1 on this, certainly this week. And it's just unbelievable, because we had the same problem in EML Premier Challenge Cup last week, albeit I think that was more down to the track and down to drivers obviously rejoining qualifying than anything else. But it still just comes to show we're 6-7 months into the game cycle, and yet we had a patch update, what, Monday? Fixing the Jeddah pit glitch. Why hasn't Austria been fixed? Why hasn't the rejoining qualifying glitch been fixed. If anybody from Codemasters is listening, what on earth are you doing?
I mean, this is not even the first time it's happened, unfortunately, in terms of Codemasters not fixing stuff. We've had it many times in the past, and honestly, we do hope and pray for one game to come out where it doesn't have these kind of glitches, but it just seems to be a common thing right now.
But the thing is, though, this game, I think, it's been reprofiled, we could say, from the last couple of years, from F1 2019, from F1 2020 especially. And why not do a game where you're literally adding in new features every single year, and you're redoing the code every single year, and you make it a lot better? Because, as far as I'm concerned, the concern from our perspective, from a league racer's perspective, is that the online servers, yes, they might be good for the average beginner in a 5-lap open lobby, but they're not for league racing. That's the thing. And if there was time, effort, and communication put in to this process, and listen to actually people who were valued within the community, instead of getting content creators in that bigs up the game and then it's absolutely rubbish, then do something about it, because you should be listening to the league racing community. We are the ones that are actually running this game through online lobbies and through leagues, and I know they did a survey last week about the leagues, the league survey, which I actually filled in and put some very, very choice thoughts, I've got to say, on that survey. But they just need to listen. It's as simple as that. And these glitches, time and time again, happen. These are the cards that we are dealt. We cannot do anything about it. We've only got to work with what's in front of us, basically. And what's in front of us is lobby crashes and having to restart the lobby here in EML Premier.
Yeah, Scott, I have managed to send a screenshot of the grid order. If Grassi is watching the stream right now, I have managed to put the qualifying results in the chat. I don't know if you'll be able to see them, but they are there. So hopefully everything will go without an issue, and hopefully he can see it.
Hopefully so. I've just realised as well this also messes up the task system, because we've obviously got a lobby restart and the task system is only physically run for one race. So, unfortunately, we're only going to be limited to what we've got in front of our TV screens, and that is literally the telemetry and everything. It looks, however, that it is going to be clear weather. It is going to be a 28-lap race, of course, 50% race, no one-shot qualifying, no full qualifying as well. The grid order looks like it's set. I think we've just had a lobby reset to confirm that. So I hope Grassi is readied up, so I think everyone else ready up, and we can get this show on the road for take 2.
Yep, and hopefully, fingers crossed, second time's a charm.
Hopefully second time's a charm, and hopefully everyone has got some form of communication, obviously, within the lobby. As I've just put honestly in the chat, I apologise to everyone that is watching this tonight, no matter what team you're supporting, no matter if you're a first-time viewer of League Racing TV, no matter if you're an absolute avid listener of League Racing TV and an avid listener of me and Mike's commentaries here in EML Premier. We can only deal with what we have got in front of us, and unfortunately, with the task system obviously now not working, we can only go with what's in front of us. But this is why we are commentators. We deal with professionalism first, and we deal with the issues as they come. And hopefully, there's going to be no issues. It's going to be a fantastic race here in America, and I hope that there's going to be no safety cars.
Yeah, let's hope for no further delays with SCs or anything coming in and spoiling the party. But we are now going back into session. I urge everyone to make sure they do load their setups and start on the tyres that they qualified on, especially if you're inside the top 10. We'll just have to wait and see now. Hopefully no more issues. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, paws crossed, everything else crossed, I think, at this point. Latest update, by the way, from Discord about the issue that has been facing everyone around the world More than half of Discord users are now back online and working normally, and they're continuing to work to bring the rest of the users back online, and that took around about 40 minutes. So if Discord's not up within an hour, I think I'd be very surprised. So Discord looks like it's getting back up and working. I've just checked mine, it's certainly not working still. Mike, I think yours is working, which is good. So we have got some form of communication, I think, back at least. But it's infuriating, this. It is infuriating, but we've got to keep our cool. Of course, even at the Circus of the Americas, 5.4 kilometres and then 3.4 mile. 20 turns awaiting the guys out on track with the 2 DRS zones, one down the start-finish straight, one down in towards turn 12, and hopefully, Mike, this is going to be second time lucky, and hopefully we're not going to be stuck on the grid for about 5 minutes.
Yeah, hopefully, no issues, fingers crossed, everyone sit there, cross your fingers, cross your legs, cross whatever you need to. Let's hope it all works out this time.
Let's hope it does. The formation lap has begun. Luckily, everyone is now leaving the grid, which is fantastic. And of course, everyone has changed. Well, one of them's changed their tyres. Castro's now on a set of medium compound tyres. I wonder if he selected the wrong tyre last time in the lobby. Of course, with the lobby reset, I think you are allowed to possibly change your tyre if there is obviously a disconnection issue within the lobby. I'm not sure on that. I will have to get definitive proof with that. But Castro now on a set of mediums. Everyone else is on the same compound tyre as they were going to be on, apart from Castro, of course, on that set of mediums. But what this does bring into mind, though, Mike, the guys on a set of soft compound tyre, they've got a fresh set of soft compound tyres now, and not the multiple worn amount of tyres, of course, that they had from qualifying. So this now creates a bit of an even playing field, I think, for the drivers, and certainly I think this will favour more the soft runners than the medium runners.
Yeah, obviously, with all the soft runners now having a fresh set of softs instead of the slightly worn ones from qualifying, it's definitely going to help them. Me personally, I actually think that the soft medium strategy works better than the medium soft strategy around here. So I think either way, I think the top 10 already had a strategy advantage to begin with.
Yeah, I think honestly it's quite for the set of soft compound tyres, you can go quite deep into the race. You can go on a set of soft compound tyres, I would say around maybe even lap 12, somewhere like that you could get to, and then put on 16 lap old mediums and you're still going to be relatively fresh in the race. Everyone else, of course, further down the field, they're going to be trying to extend their stint as further as possible into the race. Danny Gomez, by the way, in the comment section has said, not fair play by Castro, he has changed the tyres. He has changed the tyres indeed. I think it's illegal according to the rules here in EML, so there might be a penalty coming Castro's way and FFC's way as well. But Bolin out on top, Ron in second, Rudy in third. Benny, by the way, is saying it's allowed outside the top 10, and he is starting in 11, so I think we can probably give him the benefit of the doubt. But here we go, second time lucky, hopefully. Nobody has left or rejoined in the formation app, luckily, and I think, Mike, your top 3 still stands, Bolin, Ron and Pedro?
Yeah, I'm going to stick with the same top 3, and I was just about to reiterate what Benny said in the chat. He's outside the top 10. I think it's allowed if he's outside the top 10 with 3 choice of tyres.
Uh-oh.
No.
We haven't got going again.
No.
We're still waiting. 5 red lights will eventually go out, I hope. But oh, there they come on. The 5 red lights are now on. Goodness me! And they come on, and it is. Lights out and away we go, and Ron gets a very good start. Bolin slept off the start there, but now Ron is alongside, and Bolin will have to try and battle wheel to wheel up the hill and towards turn 1 on the dirty air. Ron will take the lead of the race from Bolin in second, Pedro in third. There's all sorts of carnage further down the back of the field. Javier and Nelson have been caught up in a spin, I think. Certainly Javier has, but Ron leads the way. Pedro in second. Pedro is off, coming through the S section of 5 and 6. I think he went side by side with Bolin through there, if I'm not mistaken, but Ron leads the way. Bolin in second. Rudy in third, Silo in fourth, Andres Lopez now ahead of Pedro, so he's up into fifth. Pedro there in sixth. Castro, by the way, is up to ninth on that sort of medium compound and tyres. Christmas as well has gone around the outside of Hyper coming through turn 9, so lovely move there from the TTG boys, and they're making their way through the field through 11th and 14th position. Really good stop by Christmas. It's Ron out on top, Bolin in second, Rudy in third. Hyper is lacking a lot down the straight, however Bolin is attacking for the race, leading absolutely saunters past Ron down the straight in towards turn 12. Absolute absolute carnage on the first lap here in Premier, but Bollen leads the way. Ron in second, Rudy in third, and Bollen got overtaken by Ron, albeit fairly, down in towards turn 1. He battled back into turn 12 and retook the lead.
Yeah, that was a crucial move here from Bollen. I was also on board with Silu. They're having a little look down the inside of Rudy into turn number 15. Wasn't able to pull it off though, so he has to stick behind the AFR man for the time being. But he's looking for opportunistic moves right now. Is he FRL lad?
Lucas literally just said what I'm thinking at this point. I'm cursed with Wednesday's commentaries. Bollen out on top though. Ron in second, Rudy in third as we come on to lap 2 here of the eventually running EML Premier. And of course here for the United States Grand Prix, Charles on the back of Castro. Looking at the position gains early on, Charles has gained 6 positions. Christmas has gained 7. They're the most positions gained so far. Garassi has just gained a pass on Hawaii Marve coming through turn 1, so gets the job done through there. But Bollen now leading the way. Ron in second, Rudy in third. On settling down, the top 8 now pulled clear of Castro by around 1.3 seconds. So those guys on that set of soft compound tyre obviously having a big advantage in terms of the tyres. And Charles, of course, on the back of Castro, who gets a little bit sideways coming out of turn 9 and then to the left-hander of 10. Don't think he's going to get the move done. If I'm favouring a move here, it will be on Christmas, because Christmas there, on the back of Charles and Castro, they take the very similar line. Andres Lopez is going to run side by side as well with Sealy when he absolutely deploys the DRS to try and use up that move. And Andres Lopez is through, he's into 4th position, and Christmas, as I've said, is going to go for the move, certainly on Charles, down in towards turn number 12, and he gets the job done, and he's through, and he's into 10th position. The TTG already in the making with the moves, with Christmas and Garassi making, of course, positions on this lap alone.
Yep, Christmas getting himself right in the thick of things, and he's almost at the front of this medium compound train, I'll call it. But Afi, he's down there on a set of softs right now. He should really at the moment have the grip and the performance to start maybe carving his way through these medium runners for the next couple of laps. I don't know how long though he'll be able to keep up the pace before the mediums become the better tyres. But here goes Christmas now on the back of Castro. He is closing in, but is he going to have a look for a lunch? Oh! No, he's hit the back of him.
He's gone into the back of him, and that's very similar to a League 2 incident, I think, on the final lap of the race. Why Marvin picks up a 3-second penalty as well, but Christmas broke too late on the right-hand side. I'm not sure, actually, if he pulled off to the left-hand side and then tried to get at the dirty air to try and get the move done. I don't think that was the case. I think, all intents and purposes, he was going to brake later than Castro, and Castro there in P8, Charles now up to P9, and Christmas, right side end plate damage for TTG. This is bad because, of course, they're leading the championship. Why Marve is spun coming through turn on as well. He gets a 5-second penalty for corner cutting as well, does Christmas. Vengeance now into 8th position. Bollen though leading, and Rudy now makes the move on Ron for second.
Yeah, all the action has now kicked off here on lap number 3. Obviously with DRS being activated now, we're going to start to see a few more moves happen. But Bollen, 1.5 seconds clear, and I'm just expecting that gap to grow now.
It will grow, and of course Rudy is there as the wingman in behind. He's there in second, of course, the Dutchman in behind his fellow countryman. Ron now beginning to struggle, I think, on his tyres. Even this stage early on in this race, coming on towards lap 4, he's dropped off 0.8 of a second on the back of Rudy. Rudy made that move done very good indeed. There is a yellow flag coming through sector 1. Not sure if that might be to deploy the VSC or something, but certainly the drivers are going to be going slow through that sector, possibly picking up the wing damage, I think, from Christmas's car. Otherwise, we have got a rogue yellow flags in sector 1 and 2. I think we might be plagued for this for the rest of the race. I'm absolutely cursed tonight, honestly. Bollen leading the way, Rudy in second, Ron in third, Andres Lopez in fourth, Silu in fifth, Pedro in sixth, Freaky Fast in seventh, Vengeance in eighth, and there Castro in ninth, and Vengeance has decent, goodness me. Bollen leading the way, Rudy in second, Ron in third. Vengeance is there behind his teammate, though. He is in 8th position. The interval timing is obviously having a bit of a glitch, and it's just what we're dealt with, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for we'll see as a spectator, as we know Vengeance is up currently in P8, so we can keep with that. But look at the gap that's begun to grow now between the top 8 and Castro. They have been absolutely left in the dust on those medium tyres.
Another yellow flag in the first sector. Just ignore that completely on the right-hand side. Bullen leading the way. Rudy in second, Ron in third. CeeLo there in fourth. And CeeLo actually got the move done on Andres Lopez. Down in towards turn 12. Got a lovely move done down the inside line. And he got the move done. He's into fourth position as a result. But look at the top three. They're beginning to pull away. Of course, Bullen more so than Rudy and Ron at this stage. Hopefully the interval timings fix themselves with vengeance. He is there in P8. He is behind his teammate Freaky Fast, and Freaky Fast is there, of course, in 7th. There is vengeance, just for proof, in 8th position. Ghosted, of course, and drivers have got to be very careful, because if they're around him in the second stint especially, and they're going side by side with him, remember that car is not actually ghosted. It still has physics within itself. And that is why drivers shall either remain behind or try and go for the move on the straight, so you don't so you avoid really anything that happens. As Hyper has now left the session with a disconnection, Garassi on the back of him, and Garassi will probably look to try and get the move done very soon indeed, and he probably will look through turn 6 and 7 to get that move done on the AI car. But Bullen leading the way, Rudy in second, Ron in third. Garassi does go past Hyper now, and Javier will also follow through as well. But the front three beginning to pull away. Bullen especially so from Rudy, but Ron now beginning to pull away from CeeLo, and the gap is around 1.5 seconds between them both, as Javier is now through again on Hyper's car, and Bullen leading the way, Rudy in second, Ron in third, and we're coming on towards lap 6.
Yeah, Rudy and Ron able to pull away from CeeLo in 4th place, and obviously one of the most difficult things to do if you fall out that DRS zone is very difficult to get yourself back in it. Obviously that very long DRS straight down in towards turn 12, you're just going to be hemorrhaging too much time down that one straight and you can't gain back everywhere else. So it's going to be a long night now for CeeLo and Andreas and Pedro.
Yeah, definitely so. Bullen though leading the way, 2.3 seconds now, the gap. Rudy there in second, Ron in third. There are comments coming through, by the way, saying that Vengeance is desync. Yeah, we can see it on our screen, he is desync, but there, just for proof, there is Vengeance in behind, and he's there in P8 at this stage, Charles there in P9, so basically take... as actually Garassi dives it down the inside line of Castro. I think he locked up there, did Castro, and Garassi now through and he's into P10. Everyone else, put Vengeance basically in P8, everyone else drops down a position, and then you've got the perfect form in terms of the grid so far. Bullen leading the way, Rudy in second, Ron in third, doesn't affect the top 7, but, of course, Charles there in P9 is the one that you should deduct really in terms of positions and then put Vengeance in P8. Hopefully it's more easier to follow than what we're actually leading on to, but it should be, because we've only got one driver desync. It's not as if we've got multiple drivers desync. Andres Lopez though on the back of CeeLo is going to go all the way around the outside in towards turn number 12, gets the job done on the brakes, and Andres Lopez through, of course, now part of the Royals Esports team. He's through and he's into 4th, and Javier is also making the move as well on Castro. This is for P11 out on track, so Javier down the inside line gets the move done for P11, Castro there in P12. As I say, just take this by literally the scruff of the neck. Crispus, I think, made a slight mistake coming through turn 6 and 7 on the other side of the track, but Bullen leading the way, Rudy in second, Ron in third. Lobby glitches, desyncs, it's a typical F1 race, this.
Yeah, it wouldn't be commentary without all this, would it?
It wouldn't be. CeeLo's going to fight back at Andres Lopez though, to the inside in towards turn number 1. He is going to get the move done, and he is going to get the job done there. So Andres Lopez now back into P5 and CeeLo through, and he's into 4th. Good battle though going on this. They are costing and hemorrhaging each other a bit of time, as Bullen leads the way, Rudy in second, Ron in third. Ignore the yellow flags again, coming through the right-hander of turn number 6 now on board with Andres Lopez. CeeLo though, and Andres Lopez, they seem to be going to and fro in terms of the battles so far in this race. They're 4th and 5th position, and the Royals Esports team, of course, will be very buoyed, I think, by Andres Lopez's performance so far. Hawaii Marvin down in 14th, normally towards the bottom end of the field, but Andres Lopez is keeping pace with CeeLo, and CeeLo, of course, is keeping pace with the rest of the guys in behind. Pedro, of course, who started 3rd or 4th, Freaky Fast, and Charles, of course, in behind, as well as Vengeance.
Yeah, very close in our battle for 4th place right now. I mean, I'm kind of interested to see what's going on a little bit further down. We got Garassi getting past Charles there, and we got Javier following through as well. He's going to try for the double overtake around the outside. Surely not. And he doesn't get to work. So Garassi up into 9th place. Javier into 10th, and Charles loses 2 spots in one straight.
Christmas is off. Yeah, Christmas is off now, coming through the middle sector, just on the middle sector split, coming through turn number 6 and 7. The first sector split into the middle sector is what I'm trying to say there. But Bolland leading the way, Rudy in second, Ron in third. Christmas, I think, has just spun off by himself. I don't think he's got any front wing damage, has the car. Yeah, no front wing damage on Christmas's car, he just spun up by himself. He's down there in 18th position at this stage. Bolland though leading the way. Gap beginning to extend now between Bolland and Rudy. We have seen this before with Rudy, his tyres can get a little bit overheated, but of course, these guys all on that fresh set of soft compound tyre. Further down the field, however, Hyper is going to be overtaken in AI mode by the looks. Hyper, he's disconnected once again. Belandia though through, and he's into P number 13, actually locked up there, and the AI car just sweeps back through. Probably as much action we're going to get from an AI car, I think, tonight. But Belandia on the back, coming through the S section, is going to try and retake that move. You would imagine it'll probably be done sooner rather than later. But Bolland leading the way. Ron now on the back of Rudy. Is he going to try and pressure him down in towards turn number 12? Rudy, of course, the Dutchman. Ron, of course, the Estonian. And Ron, I have the privilege of commentating on PSGL F3 on a Monday. And he has been doing very well in the first race in Portimao. And he'll be hoping, of course, to try and buoy up that result from Monday night. Ron, though, in third. Celia there in fourth. Celia now beginning to drop Andres Lopez, and I think Andres Lopez is just pushing the tyres too much as Javier dives it down the inside of Garassi in towards turn 12, gets the job done. Nice move that by Javier. Garassi doesn't want to fight that, of course, with the contact with Christmas earlier on. Javier, though, through, and he's into P number 9 out on track.
Yeah, and I just noticed as well that Hyper has joined the session again. Now, this fingers crossed that he doesn't cause another glitch, but I think his internet is telling him something right now, and he's not listening to his internet. As we got the first round of pit stops now happening, Rudy, Ron, Andreas, all in the pits for a fresh set of mediums, and they're going to come out in a pretty decent bit of fresh air, I think.
Yeah, they are. Ron is going to rejoin ahead of this Belandia coming in towards someone. So Belandia is going to be down in P12, and Hyper actually, just the AI car of Hyper, might retake control of that car soon. Andres Lopez there in 13 doesn't want to retake control of his car now, with a car right behind him coming through the S section. Timo, by the way, in the comment section was saying Christmas's wheel turned off, and that's why we saw Christmas spin coming through the first sector at turn number 6. So that is why Christmas fell foul, really, of his own wheel turning off there. He's down at the back of the field. Hyper has managed to rejoin the session. Interval timing's now glitched on the left-hand side, and you can tell that because the graphics are glitching on the left-hand side as well. Garassi, however, attacking Javier once again. There's a battle we can focus on without the graphics getting in the way, and this is for P6 out on track, and he gets the job done, does Garassi through, and he's into P6 on Javier, of course. Vengeance, I think, is still out there on that set of soft compound tyre. He is indeed. He is on the same amount of soft compound tyres as both Bolland, Celia and Pedro. He's not 2 or 3 laps down as what the interval timings are actually showing, as Bolland now is into pit lane from the race lead.
Yep, Bolland in is going to be followed in by Celia and Pedro. Yep, they're all diving in. Freaky Fast stays out. Got his teammate Vengeance. Yep, Vengeance is in. And Javier. So the only soft runner still going is Freaky Fast. And what did you just spot then?
Bolland's going to be out behind Garassi, I think, here. Garassi there in second. There's Bolland just coming out the pit lane there in third. Vengeance, by the way, I think is still continuing. Oh, no, it's Freaky Fast that's continuing on. Vengeance is in the pit lane. He's coming out the pit lane there. Freaky Fast, though, now leading the way. Garassi in second, Bolland in third. Vengeance looking further down the field. I'm counting the cars up, and Vengeance has rejoined in P13. So Vengeance has rejoined in P13 for now. He's ahead of Hyper's car. Oh, he's behind Hyper's car, sorry. Ahead of Javier currently in terms of the timing screens, which are all over the place, to be honest. That's why Marvin Javier, I think he's ahead of, though. Freaky Fast leading the way. Garassi in second, Bolland in third. Hopefully you're keeping up with as much as we are. We're doing a double job, I think, here tonight in the commentary box. Bolland, though, on the back of Garassi. Now, the German is going to be under pressure from the Dutchman, and the Dutchman, I think, is just going to sail on by in the IFR car. Bolin is through, and he's into second position out on track. Easy as you like, and Rudy in behind as well on Charles. Gets the move done, and Andres Lopez is going to get quite close to Castro as well. He dives it down the inside line on the fresh cut Benatar. He is through, as Belandia nearly goes into the back of Sealy as well. Sealy just about got that move done. Pedro now ahead, Hyper now ahead. Belandia all of a sudden down in P12, and he's got Vengeance right on the back of him, and he'll be looking for Vengeance after his disconnect, after his desync.
Yeah, and obviously another thing to point out here, Rudy getting past Charles in that spot is opened it up now that Ron is going to just about stay within DRS range of Rudy, or is he going to drop out? That's the big question now. It was close to a second as that overtake just cost Ron a bit inside when he's just outside that 1 second.
He didn't have the DRS coming down the straight either, which I think was indicative of him being outside of a second to Rudy. Rudy there in third, Ron there in fourth. As the infill timings change, of course, we'll try and focus on where Vengeance is. Vengeance is in P10 now. Vengeance is in P10. Hyper, again, has rejoined. I don't know if his team are listening, to be honest, because not only is he breaking the rules and rejoining in qualifying and in the formation lap, I think there is also a rule saying you shouldn't rejoin in the race, obviously because it'll cause lobby glitches. As Hyper, actually, his car has crashed, coming through toe on to safety car, coming out on track, and Hawaiian Marve is coming right behind the safety car, coming out the pit lane. Hyper did not take control of that car, and the safety car is now out on track. Oh, that's very strange. It's the strangest crash I think I've ever seen.
Well, this is why you don't rejoin the lobbies all the time, because stuff like this will happen on this game, where it'll just mess around with your AI all the time, and your AI will end up doing silly stuff like that. And what it's done now is, it's exciting, it's just going to bunch up the grid for all of us as spectators, but it's going to be an absolute nuisance for everyone else driving.
It's going to be a complete nuisance for everyone driving. It's going to be a complete nuisance for our viewers as well, because they're not now going to know where Vengeance is going to be, because there's going to be so many position changes underneath this safety car. We are now on lap 12, not on lap 10 as Vengeance is about to go on. We are on lap 12. Bolin leading the way, Rudy there in second, Ron in third, Andres Lopez in fourth, Celia in fifth, Pedro in sixth, Garassi there in seventh. And he's going to rejoin just behind Vengeance, I think. So he's going to rejoin in ninth position here. Side by side, actually, with the TRT man coming out the pit lane. And do you know what? I think Vengeance was good there. Vengeance is in... No, he's not in the pit lane. Why is it showing him in the pit lane? Oh, this game is a joke, honestly. Vengeance now, P9, behind Garassi. It's shown as him being in the pit lane. He is not in the pit lane. I repeat, he is not in the pit lane. And he is behind Garassi. It's not only going to be a nuisance for the cars ahead, it's going to be a nuisance for the drivers behind. And to be honest, this race is becoming a joke.
Well, I was going to ask you something, because I did Hypers, you can't rejoin. I was going to ask you something, because I literally just clocked it then. But it said that Vengeance was on 7 or 8 lap old soft tyres. I don't know if you got the stream open. But I'm thinking, because the game thinks he's 3 minutes behind, whether or not they're, like that little change showing him in the pit lane, even though he wasn't, was literally the game being like, right, it's 3 laps late, he's apparently 3 laps behind, let's change his tyres now.
It has changed his tyres on a set of medium compounded tyres. I think he was on that set of mediums anyways, because he was behind everyone else ahead. By my assumption, he wouldn't be going on a split strategy compared to his teammate, who was 2 cars ahead of him. So they're both on that set of medium compounded tyres. So Vengeance is on that set of mediums, but I think it's just catching up, obviously, in terms of what we're seeing, certainly on the commentator. Benny is literally pleading, I think, now in the comment section. Can someone tell him to stop joining? Hyper, if you're listening, please stop joining. If any member of the SXT is watching, please tell them to stop joining. It's not only a nuisance for us in terms of the positions, it's a nuisance for the viewers, and it's a nuisance for you, because you're the ones that are causing this, and you're the ones that obviously caused the lobby restart as well, which I think is so unfortunate, because we wanted this race to be in the clean as possible. But it's getting to the point now where it's getting a joke, and I think we're probably going to get quite angry because of it.
Yep, and honestly, like, obviously we want this race to be as clean and straightforward as possible, and obviously, like, as much as it was up until that point, but this has been an absolute lightning rod for TTG's hopes, because now Christmas is kind of brought back into it.
Yeah, and Grassi, not going to be happy with that. And Grassi just came in the pit lane, actually. I've just noticed them going from a set of hard compounded tires now into a set of mediums. He's rejoined behind Nelson, who I think has just had a bit of contact there with Belandia. His AI, Nelson was in AI mode. I think that's not allowed either. Nelson there in AI mode behind Belandia. His car was so far up on the inside line, coming through 6 and 7. I think there was a little bit of contact there. Obviously, the game doesn't think that. I certainly think there was contact there. We are waiting on Christmas to rejoin the safety car group as well. So, we will be getting the safety car out, I think, for another lap at least. Bolin leading the way, Rudy in second, Ron in third, Andres Lopez in fourth, Celu in fifth. Interesting, though, Mike, further down the field, Charles, Castro and Belandia on that sort of soft compound tyre. I don't think they're going to last to the end of the race.
Oh no, they are going to be struggling when we get to that lap 20 mark, that I can assure you of, but maybe they're banking on another safety car coming out later on in the session. Obviously, with everything bunched up again, it does increase the chances. I mean, see, these guys are fantastic drivers, and we wouldn't expect to see a safety car come out, but maybe they're hoping for a short, quick stint on the sauce and then get like a free pit stop and do a set of mediums or something.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so. I think, honestly, in terms of how this race is actually panning out, there might be another safety car in, and you never know, there might be more glitches coming our way as well. I really hope. We are now halfway through the American Grand Prix. I cannot believe how far we are left behind now. We are, what, in the UK, 20, nearly quarter to 10 UK time, and we're only halfway through this race. Americans might be watching thinking, James, what are you complaining about? It's like 3:30 over here or something. Bolin leading the way, Rudy in second, Ron in third. IFR 1-2 at the minute, at this moment in time. And as things stand, Mike, of course, that 8-point advantage that TTG had over IFR are going to be considerably ahead of TTG if the race was to finish as it was.
Yeah, absolutely. IFR doing everything they need to do now to take advantage of that qualifying ban that TTG had. But interestingly, I just want to bring up progress over Vengeance. He's no longer 3 minutes behind, he's now 1 lap behind. So he's caught up a bit.
How is that progress? How is that progress?
He was 2 minutes behind. Well, 2 laps behind.
The thing is, though, it's laughable. It is honestly laughable. Anybody that might be watching the stream for the first time is probably thinking, what are you absolutely on about? If you've been an avid viewer of League Racing TV and other leagues that are passionate of racing on this platform, you will see what we are on about. Because this, honestly, as I've said, is just an absolute joke. It's why Marvin is spun coming out of turn 11. Spinning the car around, not even sure what happened there. I didn't see what happened there. Too busy speaking about Vengeance. Huayamave, though, in now 17th position, of course, with Vengeance being further up the field, and now he is right down the back of the field. I hope nobody's going to pick up a 5-second penalty for getting a legal overtake. But drivers want to get on with this. Bolin now the virtual Bird Islander. He's now the virtual safety car, and he has to try and back up the pack in a manner where, obviously, he's going to not try and risk any contact further behind. And Bolin, I think, at this speed, it's perfect because he's upping the pace, he's slowing the pace, and he's keeping it very consistent. And I've got to be honest, this is the pace you want to run at underneath the safety car restart. The safety car just coming through, shot out the final 2 corners, and now Bolin is about to probably say go out of turn 19, and the Dutchman will now let that IFR car loose with Rudy in behind. He's going to pick his moment, I think, coming into the final corner, and now Bolin says go! And we're back underway here in America. Bullen leads the way onto lap 15. Rudy in second, and he's actually caught his teammate completely napping at 0.6 of a second coming across the line. Ron there in third, Andres Lopez in fourth, CeeLo in fifth. The two TRT drivers as well filtering through in line of stone formation. Freaky Fast and Vengeance 7th and 8th position, so Vengeance currently in 8th. Andres Lopez though trying to attack Ron down in towards turn number 2. There is still yellow flags throughout the whole track here. Bullen leading the way, Rudy in second, Ron in third. Belandia and Castro are going side by side as well, and Castro I think has just about got that move redone. So Belandia actually through now in P10, Castro now P11. Yellow flags in the final the first, middle and final sectors. I'm not sure if this is spectator glitch, but certainly it's an absolute nuisance.
Yeah, and obviously this is almost reminiscent of what we had in League 2 for the French Grand Prix, if you remember. Obviously yellow flags all over the place. We hope that the overtakes can happen without getting illegal overtakes.
Speaking of overtakes, Charles is down the inside line of Javier. This is through turn 12. I don't think though with the yellow flag, certainly what we're seeing, if the drivers are seeing exactly what we are seeing, they cannot overtake. It's as simple as that. Javier now back through and he's into P9. Charles there in P10 and Belandia in P11. And Bullen leading the way, Rudy in second, Ron in third. I'm having a look at the YouTube stream constantly to see what is being said there as well. Hopefully drivers learn to ignore it and just get the 5-second penalty. Yeah, I think so, Luke. Honestly, it's just an absolute joke beyond this point.
We're back green once again. Thanks for the yellow flags.
Oh, Andres Lopez dives it down the inside line of Ron. Can he get the car stopped? The Royals man down the inside on the FRL man. He couldn't get the car stopped. Opportunistic if I've ever seen a move. And Ron now still in P3. Andres there in P4. He had to try something. He wanted to go for the move. Yellow flags went. Green flag back racing. Luckily we're back racing to green flag. And now Andres Lopez is all over the back of Ron like a hot rash.
Yep, and see, we saw before with the top 8 were able to pull away. It looks now that Vengeance is starting to drop off that front pack because he is losing touch with his teammate, but he has been closed in by Javier.
It's going to be a drag race though down in towards turn 12 beside Ron and Andres Lopez. They're side by side, nearly wheel banging on the run down in towards turn number 12. Who's going to be the battle of the late breakers? It's Andres Lopez down the inside line, gets the move done. Ron couldn't fight that down on the outside line in towards turn 12. Andres through, lovely move, and he's through and he's into P3. Finally, when we get some overtaking, it's absolutely brilliant and it's sublime. Andres Lopez through and he's into P3. This is what our viewers want and not the absolute farce that we had in the first half of the race.
Yeah, fantastic overtake there from Andres Lopez, and now Ron has to kind of reset and try and get back at it again. DRS is now enabled, and realistically you're going to see the IFR duo up front maybe just continue to pull away. Yeah, because they'll just be able to trade DRS and just extend that gap bigger and bigger as, oh no, Harry Marvey's out.
Yeah, Hoymarver is out, and Castro dived it down the inside line on Belandia as well, and these two are going to be side by side like Verstappen and Nathan in League 1, and surely somebody's going to have to back out, and Castro luckily backs out pretty much at the same point where they did in League 1, and Belandia now through and he's into P10. Castro though all over the back of him on that lap fresher tyres. Belandia struggling to try and catch up to his teammate Charles as well. They're in P number 10. Vengeance I think is also now still in P8, so Vengeance still in P8. He's running by himself. Hoymarver has now left the session, obviously after retiring from the race. Ron, however, on the back of Andres Lopez. He got through up the one and towards turn number 1, but now Ron is going to pay him back down and towards turn 12. He's going to be alongside and now Freaky Fast as well on Pedro, and Pedro is going to be undercut here down on the inside line. Gets the job done, and Charles forcing the move on Javier further down the field as well. Couldn't force the move there though. Freaky Fast through and he's into 6th. Charles there down in P10. Behind Vengeance, of course, he's still there in P8. But everyone now, the front two pulling away. IFR dominating. Ron holding up a big train, and everything I think is going to Constantine up in behind.
Yeah, I just was on board with Christmas as he gets the move done on Sato Pia for P15 as it is with Vengeance being decent. good move there from Christmas, but long way to go, especially for both of the TTG lads. A long way to go here.
Oh, Andres Lopez down the inside line in towards turn 1. Gets the move done again. Ron led him through that time. And now Andres could try and push the gap. He's going to basically try and drag Ron, Silu, Freaky Fast and Pedro all along with him to try and gap the runners from P8 downwards, because Vengeance is now holding up that pack. They're still all within DRS range, I think. Vengeance is still within a second of Pedro, so that is why they're still within that DRS train. But Andres Lopez and Ron, this has been a phenomenal battle. There is another yellow flag coming through the final corner. Nobody is there out on track. It is literally, I think, the ghost of Kermit possibly coming through the final corner. Bolin leading the way, Rudy in second, Andres Lopez in third. Ron and Celia, though, now on the back, trying to chase down the Royals driver, and the Royals man is going to be overtaken by one, if not two. FRL boys as now Celia and Freaky Fast actually dives it down the inside line and is trying and get the move done on the outside line. Now for 13, is he going to try and get the move done? No, I think Celia was just going to hold this one. He's through and he's into 5th position. Freaky Fast, though, does dive it in towards down in towards turn 16, or turn 15 even. Side by side, he's on the wall. Celia had a snap of oversteer. Freaky Fast in the wall, hard crash, and it's a safety car. Safety car deployed. Bolin now leading the way. Rudy in second, Ron in third. And that incident, I think, could have been avoided. It certainly couldn't be avoided because they were both side by side, and basically what happened now, I think, Celia, snap of oversteer, and unfortunately for Freaky Fast, wrong place, wrong time, as Nelson has got a 5-second penalty for collision with Garassi. I think somebody else picked up a one in that as well.
Yeah, and this is very interesting now with the safety car coming out this late into the race. We're seeing a lot of soft tyres being strapped on. Fresh set of soft tyres shouldn't have much of an issue getting to the end. So this is going to put the IFR boys under some serious pressure here, because they're going to be up against it now.
Yeah, definitely so. Discord update, by the way. Do you know how I said it'll be up within an hour? Yeah, that wasn't true. Looking to be fully online within the next 10 minutes. So if you're a Discord user and you have been affected by the outage and the lack of communication we've certainly had here in EML Premier, with looking at what the drivers have been saying in the chat, I'm looking like I'm going to be back online in 10 minutes, so that's good. Pretty much at the end of the race, which is just pointless. Bolin leading the way, Rudy in second, Pedro in third, Saxo P in fourth. Everything that could go wrong, I think, tonight has gone wrong.
Vengeance is in fourth ahead of Saxo P.
Vengeance in fourth. Good spot. So he is in there fourth, and he's on that sort of medium compounded tyres as well. Everyone else behind, apart from Saxo P, obviously, is on that sort of mediums as well. Everyone else on that sort of soft compounded tyres. So Vengeance there in fourth. Hopefully, we get what we absolutely deserve, I think, after this race, because I think everyone just wants to finish this race in one piece now, because, I mean, yeah, I think I've said too much already, to be honest, on the stream, but it gets to the point now where it just becomes a little bit laughable. But this is not laughable. This is EML Premier. This is a serious event, and when it's not serious in terms of the servers and in terms of game glitches, what can you do? Bolin leading the way, Rudy in second, Pedro in third, Vengeance now in fourth, Saxopia in fifth, and the safety car is going to be out for at least another lap. Mike, are you getting, by any chance, a sense of deja vu from France in League 2?
I'm getting massive deja vu from France in League 2, I'm not gonna lie, and to be honest, I think once the safety car comes in, we're gonna have the yellow flag glitch again for maybe another lap or two. But I think the only thing we gotta keep an eye on is obviously where Vengeance finishes at the end of this race as well, because obviously him being desync right now, he's in P4. No penalties to his name, so keep an eye on that. But yeah, I'm getting a strong sense of deja vu here.
Hopefully we're not going to be stuck under the safety car and the race will not get voided. Bolin leading the way, Rudy in second, Pedro in third. Those guys, of course, have not got any penalties. Plus Vengeance, of course, in the top four. Everyone that does, though, Saxopia 6 seconds, Andres Lopez on 3, Silu on 3, and Vengeance is back in the right position. Thank goodness for that. Silu 3 seconds, Garassi on 8 seconds, Castro on 6 seconds, Nelson on 3 seconds. And I think that's about as much news as we'll probably get, because Vengeance is now in the right position. Somebody in the gods has listened, and he's there in P4, and I hope it stays this way until the end of the race.
Yep, fingers crossed it stays this way, but it still says he's 2 minutes behind.
He might be still 2 minutes behind, but at least he's in the correct position. That's a good thing. And I don't think I've ever reacted to a driver being undecent in all my life of commentary. Vengeance now P4. TRT I think will be very happy now because he spent half the race completely decent on everyone else's screens. Safety car though is going to be coming in this lap. I think once we cross the line the interval timing should fix themselves. Hopefully no yellow flag racing as well for another lap. But now Bollen leading underneath the safety car. He is now the virtual Burma Islander once again, and he's going to try and seal a margin both on Rudy and on Pedro behind. Vengeance there in 4th now. Saxo P in 5th. Ron there in 6th, but Bollen leading the way. We've got 8 laps to go after this one. Be prepared, because God knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, as Bollen backs up the pack. Wonder if he's going to go at the final corner again, or is he going to change the strategy and go at the penultimate corner? Time will tell.
He's going a bit slower this time than his first restart, and that's why, because he's gone now, coming out of the final 2 corners through turn 19 and 20. But look at Rudy, he's right on the back of him, and the IFR boys steal away from Pedro and Vengeance now in P4. The interval timings are back, and we can go green flag racing once again. Ron is on the back of Saxopia to the outside line, in towards turn number 1. It's an inspired choice, and Andres Lopez dives it down the inside line as well. Brilliant, brilliant stuff. That is an insane move. I wish we had a better camera angle than that. But Ron is through and he's into P5. Andres Lopez into P6. That is what you call a parting of the Red Sea.
Yeah, as Andres Lopez is looking for a move absolutely everywhere right now. And yes, there's a bit of contact being made. I think deep breath, calm down, Andreas.
Calm down indeed, because he's got Vengeance just ahead as well. He dives it down the inside line, actually. And do you know what? I think he's going to get both of them. Andres Lopez, inspired move down the inside line. Beautiful move, but now he's going to be under pressure from Ron. And it's going to be 3 wide down the straight here in America on lap 21 at 28. Fasten to your seatbelts, because this is going to be one wild wacky ride. Run down the inside line of Andres Lopez, but Andres Lopez, you have to give him a round of applause for that one. Through and he's into 4th. That was insane, insane racing. He got 2 moves for the price of 1 through turn 11, set the move up, he was under pressure. What pressure? Andres Lopez through, and he's into P4. Royals merging with FMSL might just be the best thing that's happened to Andres Lopez. He's through and he's into 4th.
Andres Lopez making the moves, but also Silu getting past Saxo PF for P7 now on the back of Vengeance. So we could be seeing another move in towards turn 1, perhaps? No, Vengeance just has the straight line speed to keep it.
If anything, I think Saxo P was going to dive it down the inside line. Look what's exactly happened as I say that. Saxo P does dive it down the inside line, but see they on the inside line for 2, gets the job done. Breathe, everyone, breathe. Bollen leads the way. Rudy in 2nd, Pedro in 3rd. Just how much, though, has Andres Lopez got on those sort of soft compound tyres compared to everyone else in the field? He's gained 3 tenths alone on Pedro coming through the first sector. He runs wide slightly coming out of turn 10, and then into the left-hander coming up towards turn 11. There is a spinner, and Yavier has spun through the middle sector. He is crashing into the wall, and it's another safety car. It's another safety car, but this now gives Bollen, Rudy, Pedro possible opportunity to go on that set of soft compound tyres. But I think, why waste it? Because you're going to be losing positions.
Yeah, I think it'd be an absolute shame if these guys were to come into the pits right now. I mean, they'd be giving up a lot of track position, especially with the previous safety car having recently come in. They would come out all the way at the back. But what this does do, though, for Ron and Andreas, it brings them right back onto the back of these guys. And we saw how quick these two were able to get the jump on some of the medium runners on the previous restart. Are they going to be able to do it again on this one?
You'd like to imagine so. I think the advantage is going to be with them. I think the safety cars just saved the R5 boys from Andres Lopez in behind. Yavi, of course, leaves the session. We thank him for attending. However, Garassi into the pit lane. Saxopia into the pit lane. Is Garassi going to retire from the race? 5-second penalty for speed in the pit lane. He comes into his pit box and he's going to serve up that penalty. So 5-second penalty for Garassi to be served up. I'm not sure if he actually picked up another one earlier on in the race. I'll have to check that just in a second when he comes out the pit lane. But Garassi now in P12, Christmas now 13th, Castro now in 14th. Bolin, though, leading the way. Rudy in second, Pedro in third. We have got the correct grid, at least, which is one thing. The top 10 are staying out there on their set of tyres. Saxopia, Garassi, Christmas, and Castro, all on that set of soft compound tyre. Fresh set of soft compound tyre. Saxopia there in 11th. I can now check the penalties, actually. And Garassi did have a 5-second penalty earlier on for a collision, I think, with Nelson. He served that one up. He's still got another 5-second penalty to serve up if he so chooses.
Yeah, the question is, so I mean, I don't think the safety car will be out for another lap. I think Castro will close up to the back of this pack.
It will be
in the right amount of time.
Safety car will be, because we've only had the whole field was obviously past the safety car, and the safety car has only been bunched up one lap under the safety car. So that is why I think we're going to get another lap, and then we're going to go back racing on lap 25, I think.
No, I think the safety car could turn its lights off by here.
We'll have to wait and see. Castro was not on the back yet. Christmas is just on the back as well. And we would normally get the safety car coming in, but I think, I'm probably right in saying this, I think it's, obviously, we've only had one lap of the safety car. The safety car, of course, has to stay at a minimum of 2 laps at the very least. And that is why Castro, of course, hasn't rejoined the back of the pack. And by this stage, I think it's too late to probably call in a safety car. And I think we're going to go, safe to say, for another lap under the safety car. Onto lap 24 we go. Bolin leading the way, Rudy in second, Pedro in third. Now, we'll reiterate these words when we get back underway. But, guys, 4 laps to go in the race. Keep it clean, for goodness sake.
Well, I think Garassi is going to come into the pits and get rid of that 5-second time penalty. Yeah, and that's exactly what he's going to do. So he'll drop towards the back of the field. But he will now have an opportunity to get past the likes of Saxopia, who has 9 seconds of time penalties, and Castro also. So FCC, it's been a race of penalties for both the drivers tonight. They've shown great pace, but they've just explored the track limits a bit too much.
Yeah, they have, to be honest, and I mean, it has coexisted in other races as well where they've done that. I mean, I remember Austria, where one of them was, I think, nearly getting close towards disqualification range. And Saxopia there in 11, Castro in 13. FFC have not been in the races so far. TTG have not been in the races. CGT have literally been picking up positions for the price of it. GTZ haven't been too bad either. TRT, of course, down to 1 driver in the Desync Vengeance, now not Desync Vengeance. And it seems like the 2 teams that have really come out on top, I've got to say tonight, IFR and FRL, they have reaped every single reward. I know Ron and Sealy were now down in 5th and 7th position, but FRL have been on fire tonight. IFR especially, so they've been dominant throughout this race. Can they keep it up, though? With 4 laps to go after the safety car will come in this lap. Bolin leads the way, Rudy in second, and Mike, I don't know what's going to happen in the final 4 laps of this race.
It's definitely going to get a little bit spicy here in the final 4 laps, and safety car will be in at the end of this lap. And good news, Discord is back up and working for me.
Is it? It's not up for me at the minute. Bolin leading the way, Rudy in second, Pedro in third. Hope to bring you news on Discord working on my end. Bolin leading the way, Rudy in second, Pedro in third. Mike, Bolin here, what does he have to do? What do the medium runners have to do? Top 3, of course, being on that set of mediums. Andres Lopez and Ron on a fresh set of softs. What do they have to do to try and outgun the soft runners very quickly before we get back underway?
Well, they need to hope that Pedro's going to put up a big fight to these guys behind. Obviously, for Bolin, he has his teammate in behind him, and they could deploy a bit of teamwork to maybe give Bolin a bit of a gap so he can keep a hold of this potential race win. As you see, they're backing up the pack, and they're going to go right now. And
And that's a sketchy restart as well, and behind, because Andres Lopez has been overtaken by not only one driver, but two drivers. Pedro through, and he's into third. Retook him, I think. Andres Lopez dives it, though, down the inside line in towards turn number 1. I think he actually got the move done through the final corner. Obviously, you couldn't overtake because we're still yellow flag racing, and now Andres Lopez is going to switch to the inside line, through the outside line, now back to the inside line of 5, and then to the inside line again of 6. Not going to get the move done on Pedro, and Pedro was holding these guys up an absolute treat as the I4 boys pull away. Bolin, Rudy leading the way. Pedro there in third. Andres Lopez in fourth. Andres Lopez, I think, by this point, is probably just going to dive this down the inside line towards turn 11. Christmas is round as well, coming through the second sector. My Discord has just came back up, literally as I speak. Bolin leading the way. Rudy in second. Pedro in third. And Andres Lopez now on the back of Pedro. Side by side he goes, on the run down in towards turn number 12. Ron is going to pull alongside as well, and Ron could try and make the move on Andres Lopez if he so wants to. Dives it down the inside line, but the Estonian didn't want to try and make that move, and Andres Lopez, I think, realised that. Cut him up right at the pass, and he stays in third.
Yep, and now IFR are going to be playing a bit of team tactics, I think, by here. Rudy will try and back up Andres Lopez as much as possible into Ron, get these two to battle, so Bolin can maybe build enough of a gap, because as it stands right now, as long as Rudy can keep these guys behind, IFR still on for a 1-2 here.
IFR still on for a 1-2, and if there's any team that can do a 1-2, it's IFR, and it can hold off the rampaging Royals driver of Andres Lopez and the rampaging FRL boy of Ron, of course. Seeley on the back of Vengeance. Speaking of FRL, he's on the back, down in towards turn number 1, trying to get the move done. Somebody that is, though, Nelson down the inside on of Belandia, in towards turn 1, gets the job done. Belandia now cut off at the pass, and he's through, and he's into P9. So the GTZ driver through, and he's into 9th position, and they're making their way through the field as well, as Seeley tries to go all the way around the outside of turn 6. Goodness me, if he tried to pull that one off, I would have gave him a 5 there and then. Bolin leads the way. Rudy in second. Castro is round, coming to the middle sector. I think he's recovered the car, though, and got that car back underway. Bolin leads the way, though. Rudy in second. Andres Lopez in third, and Andres now right on the back of Rudy.
Yeah, Andres Lopez all over the back of Rudy now, and so to be honest, Andres Lopez is probably not the one they need to worry about, the IFR lads. It's more running behind, but here comes Andres Lopez down the inside of Rudy. Is he going to be able to pull this off? And he's, well, pretty much squeezes Rudy straight off track and picks up another penalty for it.
He does pick up a 3-second penalty. You've got to make your moves in a time-consistent manner where you're not going to be at threat of forcing the driver off track. And that was a bit like Verstappen and Hamilton from the US Grand Prix last season. Charles, by the way, dives it down the inside of Vengeance, and Saxopia dives it down the inside of Belandia as well. Phenomenal racing, and Vengeance is in the wall. Vengeance is round, coming around turn 16. I thought he was in the wall. I think he's actually kept it out the wall, luckily. But he spun again, and he's there in P13. Bolin leads the way, though. Andres Lopez in second. Andres Lopez, for penalty reasons, he's got 6 seconds. I don't think he's going to put that 6-second gap in 2 laps unless he's got a jet-propelled car. I think Bolin might probably win this, and I think IFR might be on for the 1-2. However, Ron might have something to say because he's 4 tenths behind.
Yeah, the biggest threat to IFR right now is Ron, who is all over the back of Rudy. Do want to point out that Vengeance did reset the track as well. I'm not sure if that's against the rules. I think it is, isn't it?
Yes, it is against the... It's certainly in TTML it is. I think it'll be the same in EML. Andres Lopez, though, on the back of Bolin, coming out of turn number 11, and then on towards turn 12. I think Andres is probably going to get this move done quite easily. Bolin is going to try and defend, even without the DRS. Look at the speed of Andres Lopez. He's going to pull to the inside line now. Bolin is going to try and defend hard, but he may as well just let him through. He realises that he's got the penalties. He goes too deep, and now Bolin tries to get the switchback underneath, and goes for a switchback again through 13. Doesn't get the move done. Andres Lopez through, and he's into the lead of the race. But one thing actually, Mike, set of soft compound tyres by this point are probably going off, and that's why we haven't seen Ron get the move done on Rudy in behind.
I think that's also due to the fact that Rudy has been able to keep with his teammate and Andres Lopez enough they can keep within the DRS range. I think if Rudy had just lost out on DRS, Ron would have been cruising through, because he does appear to have the better grip than the mediums right now.
Finally, we are on to the final lap of the race, and Bolin is going to try and come back at Andres Lopez. He's nearly in the back of him. Goodness me. Is there damage on the car? Not looking at it slightly, I think the left side end plate is fine. I thought it would have been the left side end plate damage, but Andres Lopez leads. Bullen went too deep in towards turn 1, nearly cost him a possibility of a race when it could have handed it to Rudy, but looking behind as well, Ron all over the back of Rudy as they come back now through the middle sector in towards turn 8 and 9. Andres Lopez leads, Bullen in second, Rudy in third. It looks like at this stage, Mike, Andres is going to win this race out on track, but with the penalties, he's going to be dropping down, possibly into 6th position.
Yeah, and this is the last opportunity for Ron if he wants to try and get himself a little bit further up the order. Rudy showing that red flashing light, and here comes Ron, he's gaining. This is for a net P2 and Bullen up ahead. Gonna look to try and get past Andres Lopez as well. Oh,
goes to the outside line. Oh, and Rudy nearly makes contact with his own teammate. Goodness me, Ron and Rudy are now side by side, and Ron surely is going to have this moved, and he does. Bullen now on the back of Andres Lopez. Those softs are shot. Bullen now seeks an opportunity for the race win. Rudy drives it back down the inside on the Ron. What a move that is from Rudy. He's soon into P3. The FRL F3 boys going at it. Sorry, the PSGL F3 boys going at it. But Andres Lopez now around the final 2 corners. He is going to pick up the race win, or is he? Because Bullen is still on the back of him through the final corner in America. Bullen tried to lunge it down the inside line, he doesn't. Andres Lopez across the line to win, but Bullen takes the race win. It's an IFR 1-2, and IFR retake the championship lead in the EML championship in Premier. Bullen wins, Rudy in second, Ron in third. In the end, Andres Lopez is all the way down into 11th position, and that is surely got to be a glitch.
Yeah, it just popped up saying a 20-second penalty for him, and after he crossed the line. So I think
yeah,
that'll go into the stewards and the 20 seconds will be removed. But yeah, what an exciting end to that race it was. Exciting
end from what was, well, I'm not even going to be drawn in to say what my thoughts are after this race. Driver of the day, what about the in-game fans as Charles? I think CGT deserve something at least out of that race. They did phenomenally well in terms of the consistency. But to the top step of the podium, it is Bullen. And Bullen, who needs Tom Robber when you can have Bullen in your lineup? He wins and extends that IFR lead, of course, in the championship. He takes it, of course, of TTG and then extends it even further with TTG. I think, with Andres Lopez's penalty, I think both TTG drivers have finished outside the top 10.
Yeah, both TTG drivers. Well, actually, no, Christmas will be 10th.
Yeah, Christmas will be 10th, Garassi will be 14th. So, Andres Lopez's 20-second penalty, he'll be 7th. He'll be 7th when that 20-second penalty does get removed, if it does get removed. If it does, he'll be 7th. I can confirm that now. Bullen wins, though, from Rudy in second, Ron in third, Charles in fourth, Pedro in fifth, Silu in sixth, Nelson in seventh, Belandia in eighth, Crispus in ninth, Saxo P ran off the top 10, Vengeance in 11th. Of course, Andres, because of that 20-second penalty, will be up in 7th if that one gets removed. Castro there 13th, Garassi there in 14th, and they are the only finishers of tonight. Javier, Freaky Fast, Marve and Hyper, all DNFing out of the race. Safety cars galore. I feel pitiful, to be honest, for Luke and Aiden and for Storm and Graham. They didn't even get a single one in League 1 and League 2, and then we have about 3 in one go here in Premier. It's absolutely typical. But we have reached the end of the live stream. If you did like it, of course, like, comment, subscribe, tick that notification bell, of course, if you're new. More action to come on the TTML channel. F2 and F3 coming tomorrow night, of course, for TTML, and that is, of course, at 8 PM UK time. F4 and F5 also live on Friday as well at 8 PM UK time. Saturday, of course, we've got BNL, I think, racing there. I know I'd like to send my thoughts, certainly, to BNL, because they're not going to be extending their contract with League Racing TV moving forward. They've been an absolutely avid part of the leagues that we have on here, and they will be absolutely missed in terms of their viewership, and we do thank them, of course, their fantastic business and for their fantastic attitude, I think, that they've come to running their league on the channel. And hopefully I wish them all the success from everyone here at TTML. We wish them all the success for that. And as well, Sunday night, TTML F1, myself and Luke Etheridge taking you through the action there. Hopefully not going to be as dramatic as what we've seen here in America, of course, for the final rounds in Singapore, of course, in TTML this week. Monday, of course, I think CWC is still racing there. TTML GT is back on Tuesday. And then Wednesday, we've got the night off, thank goodness. Oh,
Yeah.
and I think with that, we're pretty much done. Mike, I'm going to come across to you. Your overall driver of the day? Gotta be Bolland, surely.
Yeah, it's going to be Bolland, but I am going to give a shout out to CGT Charles. He kept his head down, kept it quiet, and got a good result at the end for CGT.
Yeah, fantastic result, and CGT have always been consistent, I think, in terms of their point scores this season. Fantastic to see, and hopefully more of the same coming next month, as I will now get up the calendar, because my Discord is now working. It is Brazil. Next month, it is the 23rd of February for the Brazilian Grand Prix in Sao Paulo, and then of course we've got Imola, Portimao and Abu Dhabi to round off the season in around 4 month time on the 25th of May. Pretty much 4 month time. The 25th of May is the end date for EML Premier Division 1 here for the Premier and for League 1 and League 2 as well. Really hope you enjoyed it. Sorry about all of the glitches. We can only work with what we've got in the end. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe, tick that notification bell, of course, if you're new, and we will see you next month, of course, for the Brazilian Grand Prix, and, of course, for TTML F2, myself and Mike will see you tomorrow night on both of our respective commentaries for that as well. But until then, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.